You want to just pick on people? Okay.
First.
I'm an independent, and I continue to be independent, but I voted for you. And I am fully supportive of everything you just said, and I maintain continuing to be an independent because I consume information constantly from as many different sources as I can. I teach, and in my previous career I practiced law. And so I'm good at consuming information, ferreting out what's true and what's not. And I see the biggest obstacle that your voice, the kind of thing that you say that people in this room support, the biggest obstacle is that most of the avenues of mass media are not in the hands of people who are saying what you're saying. They're in the hands of powerful, moneyed interests. And it's TV, it's radio, and it's people around us, not in this room, I assume, but thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions. I remember when Bush won the second time, I'm going on a tangent for just a second. When Bush won the second time, I remember in the internet seeing a headline in a British newspaper. I don't remember which one, but it was a popular British newspaper, and it said, "How can 50 million people be so stupid?"
Exactly.
That's some British newspaper, but I mean, he was, Bush, like many of the interests against what you're saying, lied. I mean, they stand up in front of the TV, they have, and they, with a straight face, the biggest obstacle are the people who listen to the lies. And
that's right.
I teach with people. I won't get into politics at work, but I listen to fellow teachers who buy into the nonsense that they hear on Fox News, and we don't have the equivalent of the media power. So you're fighting an uphill battle.
Do you have a question? What are we going to do about it?
Yes.
And I think the place we got to start is election reform.
Hey, for a Republican, I agree with that vote for him.
I think obviously supporting local control and making sure that conglomerates can't control the entire media structure in this country is important. But I think the biggest threat is really the millions upon millions upon millions that we saw spent in television in the last cycle.
And it's going to be
and the
even
fact
more
that
Citizens
that
United.
didn't come from individuals. That we're redefining what a person is in this country to allow corporations not to have equal voice with people like you. Because if you want to engage for a federal election campaign and you want to support Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin, and you've got a limit to how much you can send her a check for.
Right.
But to be able to go on television and to run these ads, and at the end to say this was from Citizens for a Prettier World is ridiculous. So at the very minimum, we should have gotten through the disclosure requirements that I voted for last year, that died in the Senate because of the cumbersome rules about trying to move those kinds of things forward. But more importantly, we need to look at finding a way to redefine how our elections are run. And unfortunately, we have a Supreme Court that is openly hostile to that. And I think when we confirm Supreme Court justices moving into the future, we need to pay very close attention to how they view this election law issue.
Let's have, we'll just have,
I wanted to ask my question, not
well,
the one that he rushed me to ask.
okay, so get to your question, because we got a ton of other questions.
That's fine.
I'll let
I
you-
haven't been here
Okay.
before.